You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, I'm pretty sure by now everyone knows about the transgender fencer, Redmond Sullivan, who was supposed to face off against Stephanie Turner at a USA fencing event. And Stephanie Turner protested, got on her knees and said, "No, I'm not going to do this. This is not right." And I believe that more women should actually be doing this, folks, to put a stop to this madness. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, man, that a male would actually feel comfortable going out there and taking on a woman. It is really despicable, man, what Redmond Sullivan actually did. And then the referee goes over there and talks to Stephanie Turner. She gets disqualified. Actually, the male should have been disqualified. Yes, Redmond Sullivan should have been disqualified. But Stephanie Turner had to fight for what was right. Now, guys, I don't know if you guys actually know this or not, but Redmond Sullivan actually attends a college. And he was actually on the women's team. You notice what I said, guys. He was on a women's team. Not anymore. Not anymore, because his school has now banned him from the women's team. Now, I find this interesting, guys, that this is just now coming out, considering all the controversy that happened at the USA fencing event. And we know if he was actually competing as of recently with the women, that's actually in violation of Title IX. There may actually be an investigation from the Trump administration as to what was going on. But I believe it's Wagner College is where you actually go to school at. Yeah, they came out and they made a statement. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Here we go. Right over here on Fox News, trans fencer no longer on college team amid latest controversy. Stephanie Turner refused to face off against a transgender athlete at a competition in Maryland. So it says right here, a transgender fencer who competed in a USA fencing sponsored tournament and was at the center of controversy after an opponent protested against the organization's gender participation policies is no longer on the Wagner College women's fencing team. Yeah. Wagner College confirmed to Fox News Digital that Redmond Sullivan was off the team more than a week following the controversy at the Cherry Blossom Open in Maryland. Yeah. So off the team for more than a week. Okay. What does that actually mean? Now, we do know that he was actually on the team in 2025. Trump came out with his executive order, and these schools weren't supposed to have transgenders on their team. So I don't know. But look here, it says Sullivan is shown to have competed for the Wagner women's team in the foil competition in several meets during the first half of the 2024-25 season. The first half. Sullivan participated on the men's team during the 2023-24 season. Score sheets from meets during the season showed. So it definitely seems like, based on this, they say the first half of the 24-25 season. Oh, so that actually could have been last year. So does that actually mean this year too? I don't know. But they're saying that he's been gone for more than a week off the team. Yeah, of course, the NCAA, and it mentions it right here, the NCAA changed its transgender inclusion policy after President Donald Trump signed the No Men and Women's Sports Executive Order. So maybe they complied. It's kind of a gray area here, folks. I mean, they weren't really definitive on when Redmond Sullivan was actually kicked off the women's team. I mean, one would actually think, once that executive order went in by President Trump, that was a wrap. However, we know that there are some defiant schools out there, defiant states, defiant politicians that are continuing to let this happen. Now, the NCAA, they have been complying with the executive order and they changed their rules. So I'm not really sure. But this is what the policy states, quote, a student athlete, I hate this word assigned, born male at birth may not compete on a women's team. That's the NCAA policy. Sullivan was at the Cherry Blossom Open and was set to face off against Stephanie Turner. Turner decided to take a knee in protest of Sullivan's inclusion in the meet and of USA Fencing's transgender participation policies. Turner spoke to Fox News Digital about her decision to protest and ultimately get expelled from the event. Wow. Of course, she got expelled, but not the male. Not the male. And USA Fencing, man, they really want down this hill, man. They really want to down this hill. They are getting destroyed on this. Look here, it says USA Fencing has since defended its transgender participation policies. Sullivan's club team, Iconic Fencing Club, backed the fencer after the event with Turner. Really? Quote, Red has followed every rule and guideline set forth by the FIE and USA Fencing, the statement said. Quote, he has every right to compete in the events that he qualifies for and has long since met the criteria to do so. Fencing is rooted in a deep tradition of honor, sportsmanship, inclusion, and respect. And in a sport that prides itself on these values, the type of behavior expressed by Red's opponent has no place. Iconic Fencing Club supports Red in his fencing journey and will continue to do so in the future. Wow. Very, very defined right there. Disgusting at that. Disgusting. USA Fencing isn't even standing up for women in their own sports. Not even standing up. How despicable is that, folks? How despicable is that? Now, I still got a lot of questions here about Redmond College. When was the last time Redmond Sullivan actually participated with the women? Got questions about that. Maybe, just maybe, the Trump administration should actually investigate Wagner College to find out, because they're talking about like a week. Really? If it was just like a week, then you were in violation of Trump's executive order and Title IX. Just that simple, man. Just that simple. However, this is good news. At least he's off the team. Now, the NCAA has this weird rule where the transgenders can actually still practice. And I don't agree with that either. I mean, it's really, really kind of ridiculous. I mean, the NCAA is like, all right, you can't have men playing women's sports, but we'll let you practice. Maybe they can even travel. I don't know, but they can't compete. So what do you guys think of this here, man? Redmond Sullivan banished from the women's fencing team at Wagner College. Wow. Just want to know when it actually happened. Very, very curious about that. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.